John, so the judge granted that temporary restraining order late this afternoon, and an hour later, Attorney General Dan Rayfield and Portland Mayor Keith Wilson both spoke about the ruling, saying that the decision reaffirms their decision and that it doesn't go with the president's, quote, war-torn fantasy of the city. So now this ruling will stay in effect for 14 days until October 18th. The Attorney General says he expects this ruling will be appealed to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, but says they are prepared for it. Attorney General Rayfield says effectively the order would place the National Guard back under the command of the governor at this time. President Trump previously said on social media that the troops were now in place and were said to be training at the coast. Rayfield says they will be back in front of the judge asking for an extension of this order in a few weeks to ultimately get a preliminary injunction that will last a longer period of time. Here's Attorney General Rayfield and Mayor Wilson.
The most compelling facts that the Trump administration had was back in June. And you don't get to look back several months and then all of a sudden start to deploy your troops, multiple months later, saying that that justified the existence.
As the judge noted in her decision, we provided substantial evidence that the protests at the Portland ICE facility were not significantly violent or disruptive in the days or even the weeks leading up to the president's directive on September 27.
So after the ruling, a White House spokesperson said that President Trump exercised his lawful authority to protect federal assets and personnel in Portland following violent riots and attacks on law enforcement. We expect to be vindicated by a higher court. Now, Rayfield says that they're asking people to respect the ruling and protest peacefully. And right now, there's over a few hundred people here at the moment. If we go ahead and we kind of look toward the gates, there were just a lot of people chanting toward the direction of those gates. And people are out here playing music. It's been pretty peaceful while I've been out here, again, mainly just chanting and people speaking on the megaphone. There's people on the curb sitting down. There's a lot of people with gas masks, and at the moment you can still kind of smell the pepper balls in the air at the moment. But while I've been here, there's been no deployment of gas or anything like that. Again, over 100 people in the area, but cars are still making their way up and down the street. And so that's sort of what we've been looking at for the past couple of 10, 20, 30 minutes out here. But we'll be keeping you guys updated. We're going to try and talk to people on the street about their reaction to the ruling. But for right now, John, I'm going to toss it back to you.
All right, Celine Stevens live tonight. Celine, stay safe out there. Thank you so much for your reporting.